It is Wednesday, February 13th, 2019. It is 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and so you know what time it is. It's time for a little bit of coin metal. And it was a very exhausting, get your ass kicked at Jiu-Jitsu Wednesday. It was all about the guard pass, and the passing of the guard, and the retaining of the guard, and the passing of the guard, and the getting around of the guard, and the smashing of the guard, and the guard, and the guard, and the guard, and the guard. And so, yeah, that's pretty much what we did today, was the guard work. And it was really cool because it gave me a lot of opportunity to try out different approaches with regard to trying to circumvent what I've come to call Sector 1 and 2, which is the distance from your ankle to your knee and then your knee to your thighs. Sectors 1 and 2. Anyway, so yeah, I employed a little bit of my tendency to collapse the leg. One of the things, and I talked about this, I think it was the last time, it might have been on Monday or might have been on last Friday, but one of the things I like to do if my opponent is down and I'm standing is I really like to sneak my lead leg forward and push it into their shin. And their first tendency, of course, is to push against it, and that's fine. But the thing is that it puts you kind of sideways. It makes you kind of susceptible to being swept. But if you do have your grips right on like the other leg and whatnot, you can kind of circumvent that. You can kind of keep yourself from being flipped over real quick. But nonetheless, like I said, I had a lot of opportunity to see some of the flaws with it, and especially with the last match that I rolled with this one gentleman. It was kind of a more open round, but nonetheless, that's exactly where I had my most fuck ups, was just in that one spot, you know, where I'm breaching from standing to a more prone position, or at least a more aggressively on my opponent position, you know. And so yeah, it was really cool. I got flipped plenty of times. Or not flipped, but swept plenty of times. Although I will say this, to my defense, despite the fact I was kind of taking it easy, and my opponents were, of course, too. I'm still recovering from this fucking lung infection or whatever the fuck it is. But nonetheless, I still managed to get most of the rounds in today. I think I was out maybe 2 minutes, and I mean, we were doing like anywhere from 1 minute to 5 minute rounds. So, you know, I tried to get in as much as possible today, and like yesterday, I've been doing this thing where I've been doing like the fundamentals class and then the advanced class on the same day on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I'm not quite ready to do that yet. I don't have the endurance yet. You know, it's like I've been pushing my way back for the last, I want to say, few weeks or so, where I've been trying to push my respiratory limit up a little bit higher, and also my physical endurance. And I'm feeling like I really need to go back to one of my old cardiovascular regimens, and it was one of the first ones that I'd ever really learned too, where I had a gym membership, and of course, with my luck, the one guy that started me off training at a gym was a former wrestling guy. And as anybody knows, when you look at the span of athletes, wrestlers that wrestle in like high school and junior high and shit like that, they're very, very aggressive, and they usually get a lot of hard physical training, especially when it comes to conditioning, because that's like the name of the game, you know, strength and conditioning. You got to be just a little bit stronger and also a little bit faster, and be able to last just a little bit longer than your opponent to win, right? And of course, have a brain between your ears to be able to take advantage of the opportunities when they make themselves available. But nonetheless, the one thing you really need above that is you really need to have good cardiovascular conditioning. Because if your heart rate's like 800 miles an hour and your respiratory is going just as fast, You're not going to be able to keep your head straight long enough to be able to catch the arm in a Kimura, or get a pin or something to that effect. And so the real concentration that they put on, at least in my high school's program, was a lot of fucking conditioning and a lot of hardcore conditioning. So this guy, he sets me up on this program, and I swear for like maybe 6 months, I did not put in less than 3 hours at the gym. I would get there between like 6 and 7, and I would close that gym. And that was 5 days a week. And on top of that, I was riding my bike to and from the gym. So I'd ride my bike to the gym after having ridden my bike home from work. So I ride home from work on my bike, ride back to the gym, which is halfway back to work out for about 3 or 4 hours, then ride home somewhere between 11:45 and 12 o'clock a.m. And in that time, I would get in a half an hour on the bike, 15 minutes on the stair climber, a couple hours in the weight room, some swimming, some sauna, I got my order all fucked up. Weights, then stair climber, then another half an hour on the bike, then swimming, then sauna, then go home. And man, I dropped all kinds of weight. By the time I like kind of plateaued and basically ran out of money to be able to pay to go to the gym, I was down to like 155 pounds and just a fucking wire. I mean, I think I was like sleeping like 6 hours a night, and I'd wake up out of the bed like a rocket fucking launched me out of bed, I wouldn't be able to sleep anymore. It's like, oh, it's time to get up. It's time to go do shit. And so, but the one thing that I always really concentrated on my own was the intensity of the cardio. So, I mean, I would get my RPMs up to 200 on like a setting of 2 or something like that on the resistance, and I would pedal that fast for a half an hour. And then I'd get it on the stair climber, and I'd be doing like 140, 150 beats per minute or something like that. And I'd keep that up for 15 minutes with the stair climber's own little program dictating what the resistances and whatever. And then, like I said, I'd go and I would do a workout and then come back. And one of the things I also kind of implemented in my weight training that I've found to be very, very, very useful is when I was training at a gym at one of the local colleges. They talked about this thing called the Hungarian method, and it was just one set of really stupid low weight but obscene level of repetitions. So the goal is pushing towards 200 repetitions. And I'll tell you what, if you can do 200 slow repetitions, I don't care how much weight that you're actually holding in your hands, it's hard. I mean, even if you're used to throwing around like 200-300 pounds, try it sometime. Get a pair of 20-pound dumbbells and concentrate solely on your form and your breathing, and try to crank out 200 flies. And just, you do them to where it's like, inhale on the way down, exhale on the way up, two sides of the breath for 1 rep. Do that for 200 repetitions. You will not make 200 repetitions to begin with. You'll make probably, if you break 100, I would consider it luck. Not a matter of strength. It's either that or you're already in really good condition. But then going from there, and I tried that with squats, with really, really lightweight for squats. And I think the highest I ever got was like 160 or 170 repetitions. But I'll tell you, man, I'd have to put the fucking weight down because my calves would fall asleep. They start tingling and falling asleep on me. And so, yeah. But the kind of conditioning I had during that time, though, was pretty incredible. I think if I was doing jiu-jitsu back then, I probably would have been wrecking some motherfuckers right out of the box. But I've toned down in the decade or so since then. So it's It's I'm thinking. I think that was like 2004, 2005, something like that. But I was running every other day, like 5 miles on a really hilly road. And so, even that, I think the fastest I ever ran that was like 49 minutes, and dude, that's busting ass for the kind of trail that it is. I was probably doing a minimum of probably 5 miles an hour the whole time. And there's this one section of it, it's like a 20-30% angle or grade or whatever. If you were to look at a radius, the angle on that hill to a flat surface would be about 20 to 30%, and it's not a short run either. It's like two maybe 300 yards in a just up a wall. And it's fun running down it on the way to the end of the line and back. But when you're coming back, it's like this last section before the home stretch of about about 3/4 of a mile. But like that whole time, you're just like, man, I wish this fucking hill was shorter. But like I said, I think during the time that I did that fastest run, I actually beat 2 bicyclists up the hill, which I thought was fucking hilarious because they were riding bikes, and I still fucking passed them like they were standing still. So yeah. Anywho, conditioning, it's the key. Got to put in your time on cardio, otherwise you will fail. Anyway, I want to go ahead and throw down into our first dance, and I just got this album into my repertoire today. I've been waiting forever to have it on CD format, but given the fact that we're going to be talking a little bit about Craig Wright today, yeah, I did plan that part at least. It's so appropriate. I'd almost call it synchronicity. This is, I'm going to go ahead and put this first song in. It's by Exodus. Impact is imminent. First dance. Here on Coin Metal. And that was 9 Inch Nails with Mr. Self-Destruct. Yeah. And speaking of, I was just reading some of the stuff on my Twitter feed because, I love my Twitter feed. Anyway, this guy posts, not so fast posts, always close out your negative viewpoint / report crypto article with a David Gerard quote. Narrative journalism, maximum eye roll. Yes, I agree 100%. And just the tweet that he was responding to, it says, discussion of QuadrigaCX online is a swamp of anger, amateur detective work, and conspiracy theories. The fact of the matter is that we actually have legitimate, real-world contacts to this. It's not just a matter of guessing. It's not just a matter of hyperbole or whatever like that. We have the owner of, or the co-founder of Kraken Exchange, or like at least their CEO, saying QuadrigaCX had hundreds of accounts, had hundreds of wallets with us. So, it's all fucking, it's all out in the open, or at least a lot more in the open than you would find in more regulated markets. Because the fact of the matter is in more regulated markets, we actually trust, or try to trust anyway, our government entities to be making sure that everybody is actually solvent and actually fit to do what they say they're doing. They can provide us proof without actually giving us the funds or disclosing the funds, or they can disclose the funds without actually giving us access to them. That's the wonderful thing about this technology, is it doesn't really require any kind of government regulation in that sense. And also in the sense of the business that you and I do is nobody else's fucking business. It's not the government's business. It's not the bank's business. It's between you and me. And we can conduct our commerce exactly like that, even in this age where they're trying to corral us back into needing third parties. But anyway, back onto this this tweet here. Let me see here. Got to click back to get to it. Hopefully. hopefully, where is it? Not so fast. There it is. My response to it is this. Whatevs. The consistent theory I get is that the dude isn't really dead and the funds aren't really lost. He's an identity thief. Convicted. So yeah, sounds about par for the course in crypto. In my opinion, really what's going on right now is this identity thief cabal, because there was more than one of them. You know, I guess 2 or 3 members of his family are even kind of implicated in this. But anyway, they're not alone. He's not alone. He's not really dead. And I mean, think about it this way. The guy had the AML KYC information for thousands of Canadians or thousands of customers, not just in Canada, I'm sure. So what's the likelihood that during the time that they were quote-unquote in operation as an exchange, he didn't evaluate them and say, gosh, this guy over here has a pretty lengthy medical history. It looks like he's probably going to kick the bucket soon. So, tell you what we're going to do. We're going to list him as our CEO. We'll falsify whatever internal documents or whatever he has to sign off on. And then we're going, after he dies, we're going to say that he was the only person that had any kind of access to the funds. And then we're going to figure a way to abscond with the funds while everybody thinks that the CEO, the guy with the only access to the funds, died. And you see, that to me is the Occam's razor of the situation here. Because if you really think about it, if they were functioning as a quote-unquote legal exchange, supposedly the biggest one in Canada, right? If they were operating as that, then they had to be able to pass some sort of regulatory smell test in order to stay in operation for as long as they did. And that means that they had to pass fitness reports. They had to be able to confirm various bits of information, such as the funds, their security apparatus, those kind of things, right? And if they can pass those smell tests, then they'll get the little seal of approval from the Canadian government, and you can sign up and give them your KYC information. But from what I've been able to gather, it does not seem as though they were a quote-unquote legitimate exchange. I don't believe that they were hosting people's funds in the appropriate manner for an exchange. And I don't believe that they were an exchange. I believe they were an AML KYC information gathering service that was working for themselves, of course, and others. They probably sell your information to other people. But anyway, yeah, that is the danger with having this regulated in the sense that we do fiat markets. You know, the trust requirements really aren't the same. And the verification capability of the public is much higher than it is in the fiat markets. See, we have to trust things like SEC reports and CFTC reports and all that other shit. We have to actually do our due diligence and be able to scramble through that. And not only that, we have to be able to interpret the data, because the data isn't quote-unquote legit. The companies will lie in any place they possibly can in order to give you a bigger signal of, yes, we're wonderful, we're great, we're solvent. Don't worry about it. You can put your money with us. And as long as they can spoof those signals, you will be fucking clueless as to whether or not they are actually legitimate. I mean, you have to go like private detective and shit, you know, calling up bank records and whatnot to find out how legitimate they are. That's how they busted Madoff. Nobody bothered to check him for like, a decade or so. He's declared some fucking maven of Wall Street, and yet he's the biggest fucking Ponzi scammer on the planet. $10 billion fucking dollars or so that he ran off with, or tried to at least. But the point being is, this person passed all of the smell tests for over a decade. He had regulators calling him up. He had Congress. He sat in front of fucking Congress and talked about his fucking operations. He passed all the smell tests there. You know, this guy, like I said, he's some fucking golden boy of Wall Street. Turns out he's the biggest fucking Ponzi scammer of the 20th century. So what does that really tell you about regulation? What does it really tell you about the safety and the surety it supposedly ensures? I mean, the 2009 crisis, it still fucking happened. With all the regulation and all the regulatory bodies and all the legislation and all that other bullshit and the licensures and all that other, it still fucking happened. So what does it tell you about how much you can trust them? You know, people whine about the failures that we've experienced in cryptocurrencies, and I'll tell you something. Some of them really didn't need to happen. If people were doing their due diligence and were really keeping up on top of their shit, they wouldn't have happened. And we know this because there are certain exchanges out there that have experienced significant hacks, and somehow they managed to pick themselves up by their bootstraps and get the fuck back onto the show and do it right. And there's still, you know, some technical difficulty on the side of the consumer and the user and whatnot, but that's stuff that's going to get worked out with time. You know, if we were to equate this to, like, say, transportation, we're literally making the jump from having to have horse-drawn carriages to space flight. That's like the technological jump we're making here. And so the fact that we're having $10 million here go missing or $20 million going missing there, and it's not even really missing. You know, we're able to track that shit publicly, you know, with publicly available tools. We don't have to rely on the FBI or the DOJ or the fucking SEC or the NSA or the CIA or any of those other organizations to tell us what the fuck is going on. We can track that shit down. When we lose that sensitivity to the market, though, and the goings-on of a particular company, that's where we come into the big question marks. That's where we need the quote-unquote regulators. And that's where we're going to experience the most trust and the most failure. Because inevitably, their interest, the number of people that they are serving, becomes greater than those that are actually interested in maintaining the viability of the system. The interests get fucked up. It's just as profitable to cheat as it is to play fair, and so obviously you cheat, right? You know, it's like the assumption of gold. You know, I keep getting people talking to me about how they're going to associate cryptocurrencies and gold or silver or some other physical commodity. I keep telling them they can't fucking do it. It's never been done before. It has never, ever, ever been done before. And there's a reason why. It's because you can't. You cannot reliably take a bit of information on a piece of paper, on a database, on a blockchain, and associate it with a physical currency or a physical anything. You can't do it. Because the database or the blockchain or the whatever cannot account for the physical location of the thing, cannot account for the physical ownership of the thing. So, I mean, for all you know, even I don't give a fuck if whoever's selling you gold has a video feed pointed at a stack of fucking gold. You have no guarantee that your ownership of it is the only encumbrance on that gold. None whatsoever. For all you know, he's got 8 cameras in that same fucking room, and 80 billion fucking people have access to those feeds because they have some sort of claim on that gold. And he just kept selling viewership to the gold. Yep, that's your gold. No problem, man. That's there. See, it's right there. It's right there, man. Beyond that, you have no guarantee that it isn't an encumbrance on somebody else's balance sheet. If there were ever a global demand right now, or at any point, a global demand for physical ownership right now, the people that have title to gold, go to the fucking window that corresponds with the certificate or the whatever that they're holding that says, I have ownership of X volume of gold. If they were all to go to their third-party intermediary, their trusted third-party intermediary, and demand physical delivery of their gold, the entire edifice of Western banking would fucking collapse the next fucking nanosecond. And this fantasy that you can associate cryptocurrencies with gold, that would vanish just as fucking quickly. And it is just that. It's a fantasy. Anybody who tells you otherwise is lying through their fucking teeth. They have no idea what they're talking about. Trust me. And that's like the only thing I'll ever ask you to trust me about, okay? And really, consider the value of it. I'm not asking for your money. I'm not asking for you to go to a particular service or whatnot. I'm just telling you, you can't associate gold with a cryptocurrency. You can't do it. You can sell gold for a cryptocurrency, and you can even look at the transaction that happened. You can verify it globally. But you can't guarantee that in between, my delivering you the gold and you trying to get home, that you don't get ganked and have the gold stolen from you on your way home. And the blockchain can't account for the change of ownership either. Anyway, speaking of lies, I know some of you have been waiting for this. This guy has been like a never-ending source of dubious information, and it's always dependent on further information or later information or information from a dead guy or something else that we cannot possibly verify. And to me, it's probably, I would say, the most visible example of sociopathy in the cryptosphere. I mean, like, if you really go back to the beginning of where this person popped up and now, I doubt you'd be able to find a single thing the man has said that is actually fleshed out in the way that he initially indicated, or even in the walkbacks that followed. And so here it is. This one's on CryptoPotato.com. Craig Wright gets caught lying about being Satoshi Nakamoto. Not the first time. This is by Toju Omotorara. My apologies, sir, on the pronunciation there. Clearly, though, from the name and the picture, yes, penis. So this is last updated on February 12th, 2019 at 14:20 UTC. I don't know if I should actually read the bullet points first. Usually I don't, because it's like it. Anyway, continuing on. Craig Wright, the founder of nChain and the leader of the Bitcoin Chain SV, a fork of Bitcoin Cash movement, has long been a controversial figure in the crypto space. The controversy all started with his claim that he was in fact Satoshi Nakamoto, the anonymous inventor of Bitcoin. After years of making this claim, new evidence seems to suggest what many already knew. Craig Wright has been lying, and he is not the real Satoshi. Wright copies Satoshi's original white paper. To prove his bold claim to be Satoshi, Wright released an abstract of a research paper called Black Net that he supposedly wrote for the Australian government back in 2001. The abstract is identical to Satoshi Nakamoto's Bitcoin white paper published in October 2008. There was, however, a previous draft of Satoshi's white paper published in August of 2008, 3 months previously, when, if compared to the original white paper, there are certain corrections made that were also visible on Wright's research paper. The evidence is shown below, and it gives us a whole bunch of diagrams and blah, 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 blah. So, if Craig Wright claims to have written the paper in 2001, why does it contain the same corrections as the ones made between August and October versions of Satoshi's white paper, written in 2008? Was Wright trying to bump BCHSV? This seems to prove that Craig Wright published fake evidence in an attempt to establish his legitimacy as the real Satoshi. The reasons for wanting to claim to be Satoshi are obvious. fame, and respect from all members of the crypto space and technology industry at large. However, Wright only released this, quote, new evidence on February 10th. If he was Satoshi and his evidence was credible, why would he have waited so long to release it? The most likely reason was to pump the price of BCHSV, which he now owns a substantial amount of, and is on a mission to prove that BCHSV will not only be more dominant than BCHABC, but will also be more dominant than Bitcoin. Fortunately, most people within the crypto space are familiar enough with the major players to know about who really is Wright. Despite that he is intelligent and very well versed in the roots of Bitcoin and blockchain technology, he is by no means its founder, but merely another early adopter trying to claim credit for what ultimately doesn't need claiming credit for, as that would defeat its purpose as a decentralized solution to many of the world's problems. Yes, it would be self-defeating. Not only that, but there have been so many logical inconsistencies between Bitcoin's original stated goal and his stated, roadmap for where he wants to take BCHSV, that it's impossible for me to reconcile the two. That somebody would start Bitcoin with all of the values and all the ways that it actually worked to begin with, and for somebody to look at that success and say, you know what, the best thing would be if this was also government compliant, and that the government could come in and edit the blockchain, or tell us how to edit the blockchain, and tell us what's fucking illegal and what's legal, and fuck that all permissionless shit. We don't need that, and fuck all the little hobbyists out there that are keeping the fucking network live. We don't really need them either. No, if you can't afford my patented $20,000 miners, then you could just go fuck yourself. That's the stated quote-unquote roadmap of BCHSV, as I've been able to gather it. So, I mean, like, you can see, I have a lot of trouble reconciling the two things, because, you know, if I'm to take it at face value, then Bitcoin would be nothing but a kind of a bait and switch kind of thing, where you tell me it's for freedom and all that, and then you turn around and you say, well, it's not really about freedom, it's about you being a slave to people that can actually afford $20,000 miners and warehouses full of them at that. And, you know, you were really meant to be a servant of this. Well, fuck you. And you know what makes it especially offensive to me is that there's so many altcoins out there that can do everything that fucking BCHSV can do, and yet people want to you know, grab onto some ideological hook, you know, some person or some ruling or some overarching hierarchy that tells them what to do. You know, and it must be that we're just so used to operating in such a way that we don't even bother to think, do I have to use Bitcoin with a third-party intermediary? You know, I don't rely on a third-party intermediary to drive my vehicle. I don't need one to drive my vehicle. So if I can drive my money as directly as I can drive my vehicle, why would I need to hire a third-party intermediary to drive for me? Personally, I think the whole reason why that's the case is most of these articles that we read, they're couched in this mimetic with you as an end user, you as some useless serf. And the fact of the matter is that your interest is so ensconced in what cryptocurrency that you're actually invested in, that's not really a reality. You're dependent on these to maintain your monetary value and the viability of it. If you're going to put that much trust in something, why not participate in it as well? Especially if you actually can. It's one of the big differences between Bitcoin and any other monetary system that we've ever had that was based on any kind of abstractions, even though we aren't actually doing things based on abstractions, not at least if we're doing it on chain. If we're doing it on chain, it's 9 times out of 10, at least, where we're not associating some other butt token or whatever to some value of coins with our transactions on chain. If we're just transacting in the native coin of a blockchain, we don't actually need any third-party intermediaries. You need a fucking wallet. That's what you need. But we can also participate as miners. We can also participate as infrastructure, and not just infrastructure in the hardware in the physical sense, but also in the development sense. And this is more freedom, more liberty, more power than man has known since we've gone into any kind of abstractive monetary unit. And so trying to reinstill the portions of trust, the little third-party intermediary trust gates that we've had to operate with throughout this entire time, trying to reintroduce those into cryptocurrencies, I think it's so far beyond like what we're it's so far like beyond believability to me that anybody would try to associate the two. But like I said, it's probably just a matter of conditioning. We're conditioned to circulate around with these fucking valueless pieces of white paper or these credit cards. So ubiquitous, so usable. We don't even bother to think about the realities behind them, and so swapping one card for another card, it's just normal for us, right? Without even regarding the differences of how you can actually use the currencies behind those. Like if you tried to do with Visa what you can do with Bitcoin, you would get arrested, because all of a sudden you are doing things that are regulated. And you don't have to do them. That's the thing. Is that Bitcoin was designed so that you don't need to do them. That you don't need to fall within those regulatory frameworks that existed before Bitcoin and created the situation where Bitcoin became absolutely necessary in order for the global economy to keep on operating it as it has. So I want to jump on one more, and this is the point where I was just like, okay, this guy's like Dunsky. Other than the fact that he is in court right now over some other pretty sketchy shit, and I might actually get into this as well. But this was the big one. It's like when WikiLeaks is calling you a fraud, dude, people ought to be listening to you. Or listening to them. WikiLeaks doubles down on Craig Wright accusations, calls him the Bernie Madoff of Bitcoin. This is on chainbulletin.com. Following Wright's claims of Bitcoin being state-friendly, WikiLeaks have started to expose the forgeries perpetrated by nChain's chief scientist. This is authored February 19th, 2019, February 13th, 2019, and it doesn't actually give us an attribution for author. Oh well. Continuing on. The official Twitter account of WikiLeaks has become an unlikely participant in crypto drama last 2 days. The organization first embraced crypto way back in 2010 when their access to the banking system was shut down. During the crypto bull market, Julian Assange even jokingly thanked the main legislators whose efforts forced WikiLeaks to unwillingly become one of the first large crypto adopters and promoters. My deepest thanks to the U.S. government, Senator McCain, and Senator Lieberman for pushing Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, Amex, Mooney Bookers, et al. Into erecting an illegal banking blockade against WikiLeaks starting in 2010. It caused us to invest in Bitcoin with over 50,000% return. Defend Assange campaign, October 14th, 2017. Apart from receiving donations in cryptocurrency, WikiLeaks hasn't been in the crypto news since, or at least until a few days ago, when they decided not to ignore Craig Wright's publicly stated negative opinion of the organization as well as his efforts to promote Bitcoin as government-friendly. The leakers, known for their 100% fake news-free track record, decided to make bold claims, calling Craig S. Wright a, quote, serial fabricator. Serial fabricator who claims to be the inventor of Bitcoin, Craig S. Wright now claims that Bitcoin was always pro-state and that he always worked for the prosecution as he tries to raise money for a business project and escape court action. And it gives us a link even too. While not outright claiming that Craig Wright has nothing to do with the invention of Bitcoin, as WikiLeaks tend to avoid making unprovable claims, they have taken advantage of the large list of forgeries that the chief scientist of nChain has committed to invalidate his position and prove that he should not be speaking on Satoshi's behalf. They link their readers to a GitHub repository managed by Andreas Brecken of shitcoin.com, with links to multiple data sources detailing Craig Wright's lies and forgeries as exposed by numerous other ecosystem participants, including Bitcoin Cash developer Mark Blundenberg, WizSec, Bitcoin security experts Peter Risen of Bitcoin Unlimited, Vitalik Buterin, Charlie Lee, Amory Sachet, and many others. Despite his history of remaining silent for a while after being exposed, Craig Wright did not back down. In his usual style, he ignored the substance of the accusations by WikiLeaks and called them a lie factory and a group of criminals founded by a rapist. Pfft, whatever, dude. Morning sexism rape. He also doubled down on his opinion that WikiLeaks do not want Bitcoin to act as originally intended, as it could be used for securing information, without further explanation on how Bitcoin's properties could prevent WikiLeaks from leaking private documents. As a final response, he did bring up an actual quote by the real Satoshi Nakamoto, who is anything but thrilled with WikiLeaks embracing crypto. Quote, WikiLeaks has kicked the hornet's nest and the swarm is headed towards us, Satoshi Nakamoto. However, the previous tweet by Julian Assange-led organization does not appear to be a one-time response. WikiLeaks themselves doubled down, calling Craig Wright, quote, the burning Madoff of Bitcoin. Quote, the burning Madoff of Bitcoin, Craig S. Wright, who keeps forging documents to make it seem like he is Bitcoin's pseudonymous inventor, Satoshi Nakamoto, caught again, this time forging a 2001 accedent to Nakamoto's first white paper. They also linked to an article which boldly states that Wright's attempts to convince people that he is Satoshi Nakamoto is likely driven by his desire to increase the price of Bitcoin SV. While logical at first glance, his explanation is unconvincing, considering that the behavior of nChain's chief scientist from the last 3 months has heavily pushed the market in a downwards direction, and nChain and CoinGeek's crypto holdings would mostly certainly hold higher value today had Bitcoin Cash remained united, and had Craig Wright given up the spotlight. In any case, their accusations of serial document forgeries are well-founded and just scraping the surface, beneath which lie many other sketchy antics, such as plagiarism and false claims of owning a significant portion of Bitcoin's total market cap, which could be considered market manipulation in a number of jurisdictions. Well, bam! Yeah, dude. I would not want to be Craig Wright. I mean, I don't know what's between the dude's ears, really. He could have been participating as a legitimate force within cryptocurrencies, but instead he decided to conduct himself in a really toxic manner. And one of the things that he did that kind of immediately alerted me was that he would have these rashes of purges where anybody who so much as questioned him, including myself, got immediately blocked the moment that we questioned the wisdom of his decision. And it didn't even have to be a controversial decision either. Just a nice, simple question. Like, what's the point of making the blocks so big that if they were to be utilized at that volume, that a significant percentage of the network wouldn't be able to participate? That immediately fucking blocked me. And I even referenced the fact that historically there hasn't actually been a demand so significant for blocks of that size that it was absolutely necessary that we invest in the heavy duty hardware to manage it right now. And so when all that happened, I was just like, okay, there's something really wrong here, because that's the kind of treatment I got from core people when they started trying to push this SegWit bullshit really hard, and Lightning Network just as hard. I mean, I can't tell you how many people fucking blocked me from that stuff. But it was because it's obvious where they were going with it, where they were trying to drive the transaction processing into Bitcoin back into the hands of third-party intermediaries. And honestly, I couldn't just sit by and watch that happen. I had to comment, and I still do. I believe in this technology. I don't believe that we need to have third parties to manage it for us. It's gotten this far without them. A decade. Name something else that's been, spawned in the fucking dormitories of colleges across America and everywhere else that has seen this level of success. Crypto is by no means like, it is by far the most popular thing in finance right now. It's one of the fastest growing industries on the planet, even with all the bullshit around it. And I don't believe that the development path will continue on as it has been. I think that most of the false narratives that we've been put with over the last, I would say, 2 or 3 years have been really showing themselves to be failures. That when we try and apply the torque to the road, we end up blowing up the tires. And basically for the same reasons that several people, including myself and others, were indicating the whole time. And I really believe that's the path of where Bitcoin with regard to Lightning Network and whatnot is going to go, is that they're going to hit that point where the transaction fees for on-chain transactions are going to go way too high for all these little monkeys that got their own Lightning nodes and all that shit connected to the Lightning Network, where they're not going to be able to establish payment channels, and they're going to find themselves ever more corralled into the hands of third-party intermediaries. And that's where I expect the fail to happen. I don't expect it to happen on-chain. Anyway, let's go ahead and throw back down into some music. And I'm feeling the need for a little Slipknot. And so here it is. Custer, here on Coin Metal. And that was Pantera with 5 Minutes Alone. And so, as we dive a little deeper into other stuff, we were talking a little bit about Quadriga and their regulatory compliance. Well, I think we can chalk this up to being a failure of the expectations, at least the public expectations, of exchanges and their relationships with regulatory agencies. Yeah. This is one of those problems with regard to enforcement and knowing exactly what fits where. And I think that this has been one of the big mistakes that regulators have made with regard to cryptocurrencies, is that there's already plenty of laws regarding fraud. There's plenty of laws regarding theft and so on. And so needing to create new frameworks to adapt to this technology is kind of stupid. Anyway, continuing on. Canadian securities watchdog says it does not regulate crypto exchange QuadrigaCX. The British Columbia watchdog did not regulate QuadrigaCX exchange as it had no indication it was trading in securities. Actually, it wasn't trading in securities, fuckers. It was trading in cryptocurrencies, supposedly. And this is authored February 9th, 2019. The British Columbia Securities Commission, BCSC, reportedly has not regulated QuadrigaCX, the cryptocurrency exchange which owes its customers millions of dollars, Reuters reported on February 7th. The troubled exchange remained unregulated even though the BCSC was aware of it since 2017, as there wasn't no indication of traded securities or derivatives or that they even operated as an exchange. BCSC spokesman Brian Kladko further added, quote, "As such, BCSC does not regulate it." According to Reuters, the Canadian Securities Administration, CSA, an umbrella organization for the country's provincial securities regulators, said no platform trading crypto assets had, quote, been regulated as a marketplace by Canadian securities regulators. That's actually a good thing, but you probably should tell the people of fucking Canada, we don't regulate Canadian exchanges, so you're going to have to do your own research as to whether or not they're actually legitimate. See, people that are savvy to cryptocurrencies would have understood that like right off the bat and said, okay, we're on our own, no problem. Let's look up whatever. Let's look up any addresses that they claim to be associated with or that have notably been associated with them. And start checking back on them. Start looking at all their links. Put it to the crypto smell test. You're familiar if you've been in this space for a year or so. You're familiar with plenty of the smell test signals that you should be watching for on things like exchanges, tokens, coins, so on and so forth. If you're not, then you're probably going to get wrecked because you're listening to somebody else and they're invariably wrong at one point or another. Continuing on. It is believed that around 190 million in both fiat and cryptocurrencies remain inaccessible by the exchange since its CEO and founder, Gerald Cotton, died in December. Cotton was the one responsible for the keys to cold wallets, where Quadriga kept the majority of its assets. Reportedly, Quadriga has filed for creditor protection in Nova Scotia Supreme Court in order to find a way to refund its users. This Tuesday, Justice Michael Wood granted QuadrigaCX 30-day stay of proceedings in an attempt to stop any lawsuits from happening while the company is seeking resolution for its customers. Yeah, whatever. They recently had some issue where they I guess they spaced some funds. Let's check that out really quick here. QuadrigaCX. I'm amazed I didn't actually have a tab open for this already. That's interesting. Here it is. Yeah. They were claiming not too long ago that they had absolutely no access to their funds. And so here we go. This is on ccn.com. Disgraced crypto exchange QuadrigaCX accidentally sent nearly $400,000 to dead CEO's Bitcoin wallet. This is by Joseph Young. It was authored December 2nd, 2019. Okay, so this is actually a little bit older. That's weird. I don't remember hearing about this dude having died that early. As a matter of fact, that was just like recently revealed. Weird. On February 12th, Ernst & Young, EY, the monitor of QuadrigaCX's case, released its final report, or its first report to the Supreme Court of Nova Scotia. In it, EY stated that the exchange inadvertently moved $370,800 in Bitcoin to a cold wallet controlled by CEO Gerald Cotton, who passed away. And we've actually gone through on this show and indicated what supposed cold wallets that they were indicating as being the cold wallets. People actually checked that shit out on the blockchain, and they found out with the traffic going to and from the wallets that they could not possibly have been quote-unquote cold wallets, as the traffic going in and out of them was not consistent with a fucking paper wallet stored in a goddamn vault. You got to be able to scan the fucking thing to sweep the funds back into a live wallet just to spend them. So, by definition, it wasn't fucking cold storage. Anyway, continuing on. On February 6, 2019, Quadriga inadvertently transferred 103 bitcoins valued at approximately 468,678 Canadian dollars to Quadriga cold wallets, which the company is currently unable to access. The monitor is working with management to retrieve the cryptocurrency from various cold wallets, if possible. Yeah, Kraken has come forth since then and said, hey, yo, we got plenty of fucking wallets in QuadrigaCX customers' names. Just contact us. We'll be glad to orient you with that information. Anyway, let's see. Throughout the past several weeks, CCN extensively reported about QuadrigaCX and the story involving the CEO of the company, who reportedly died with the passwords to the exchange's cryptocurrency cold wallets containing user funds. Yeah, that's according to official statements. That's not actually according to what we've been able to find out. What does all this mean to the Bitcoin holdings of users? If the CEO passed away and the access to the company's cold wallets or offline wallets cannot be restored, the $370,800 in Bitcoin inadvertently sent to the cold wallet cannot be recovered. As such, for now, the company and the creditors of QuadrigaCX only have access to the company's hot wallets. But EY disclosed that the hot wallets of QuadrigaCX have less than $1 million in them, which is nowhere near enough to pay back users who the company owes well over $150 million to. Some claims as high as $190 million. Quote, the monitor was advised that Quadriga held the following cryptocurrency balances, with approximate Canadian currency equivalent aggregating to $902,743 within its hot wallets on its servers as at the filing date, EY said. Whether it is a hot wallet or a cold wallet, major cryptocurrency exchanges typically go through additional measures to ensure that funds are sent to the right addresses. Sending $370,800 to Bitcoin in Bitcoin from a hot wallet to a cold wallet the company knows cannot be accessed is equivalent to a company sending hundreds of thousands of dollars to a wrong bank account that the company does not control, which does not occur. Which just does not occur, that is. Already, as reported by the Wall Street Journal, suspicions on the legitimacy of the explanation provided by QuadrigaCX on the loss of $190 million in funds intensified as independent researchers could not find sufficient evidence to prove the existence of the cold wallets owned by the exchange. In its report, EY said it is attempting to access any cold wallets that exist, which suggests that wallets that can be considered as cold wallets have not been found yet. The monitor said, quote, the applicants and the monitor will continue with their efforts to access Mr. Cotton's devices, find any Quadriga cold wallets that exist, and locate any other cryptocurrency belonging to Quadriga and report back to the court in respect of these activities. The unbelievable story of Bitcoin exchange QuadrigaCX. When the case of QuadrigaCX was first publicized, Kraken CEO Jesse Powell said on February 2nd that the story of the exchange is, quote, bizarre and frankly unbelievable. This is the point that I was talking about earlier. Quote, we have thousands of wallet addresses known to belong to QuadrigaCX and are investigating the bizarre and frankly unbelievable story of the founder's death and lost keys. I'm not normally calling for subpoenas, but if RCMP GRC police are looking into this, contact Kraken FX. Even at the time, due to the movement of some cryptocurrency wallets linked to the exchange, analysts were skeptical towards the nature of the lost wallets and whether the statement of the exchange could be backed with sufficient evidence. The EY report comes in a period which analysts and industry experts are not certain whether the cryptocurrency cold wallets held by the CEO of the exchange exist. The Monitor has confirmed that 370,800 in Bitcoin was sent to a cold wallet, and that may mean that the Monitor has found at least one of the cold wallets that the exchange allegedly does not have access to. In the upcoming weeks, EY is expected to continue the search for the company's missing crypto wallets by going through the devices owned by the CEO, Gerald Cotton. And read the full report below, which we're not going to do. Yeah, I'm still of the opinion that basically the guy didn't die, as in the real CEO did not die, and in fact is trying to access the funds. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, I laid out a perfectly reasonable, at least as far as I'm concerned, a perfectly reasonable explanation as far as what's going on there. Is that basically they were a cabal of identity thieves, and they set up this fraudulent exchange. They managed to pass off enough information that, you know, nobody bothered to ask any real questions about what they were doing, and they were actually setting up accounts on Kraken and other exchanges and gambling with people's money. It was basically just a Ponzi scheme. But the advantage they had was that they were unmonitored, right? So they were allowed to collect all kinds of AML KYC information. And again, the people associated with this thing are known identity thieves. The primary in it, the guy actually served time for fraud and identity theft. So, you know, he's got all this KYC AML information, and he's been in operation since 2017. How hard would it be to find that one of your customers is actually a terminal patient in a cancer ward? How hard would that be? All you really need is a body. You don't need the body. And remember, we're talking about cryptocurrency in the 21st century. You do not have to be anywhere at any specific time to do pretty much anything in cryptocurrencies. And so again, you know, you change the documentation in your books, and you claim that Gerald Cotton, this guy that's, you know, in a fucking cancer ward in India, you know he's going to kick the bucket in 2 to 4 months. You list him as your CEO, and he claimed that he's got the only access to the cold wallets. That way, when he kicks the bucket, you don't have any claim. I mean, they don't have any claim as to you, because according to all your documents, Mr. Cotton was the sole proprietor of all the private keys to all the cold wallets, and they died with him. Give me a fucking break. Anyway, I got this other one here, and there's actually 2 more that I want to go through. I saw something on here that was saying that something to the effect of it all being a lot of hyperbole and like amateur private eye bullshit. No, amateur investigation. Alright. Trying to find it in the news. QuadrigaCX. It didn't fucking come up with anything under that. Let's look. QuadrigaCX investigation. I don't know why that bizarre turn of events is being reported as new news. It keeps coming up. That article that we read, it was supposedly attributed like back in December. So let's see here. Oh shit. Well, this is kind of interesting. We might actually have to go into this one. Uh-oh. We might not be able to read this one. Damn it. So it was on Globe and Mail. Quadriga wasn't being investigated, but apparently they've got a fucking paywall. So fuck them. We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do your fucking paywall bullshit. Go suck a dick. Die. Get away from me. I'm trying to find this one article let's see. This one we will definitely get into. Then trying to find it here. Just blah 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 blah. No. Yeah, like I said, this one is listed as being on December 2nd, 2019. Dude, Joseph, adjust your goddamn calendar. You're all fucked up. There's no way in hell you reported this from December 2nd, 2019. We're not there yet. We're still in 2019, not 2019. Got 10 months. Joseph Young is obviously from the future. And he's telling us that Quadriga is kind of fucked up. But anyway, I was trying to find this article. Somebody was saying that it was, just a clusterfuck of bullshit investigation, basically. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not a fucking robot. Fuck it. What? Bloomberg? What's this bullshit? Quadriga. There we go. Yeah, see, this one is from Bloomberg, and according to them here, Quadriga accidentally moved more Bitcoin into an inaccessible wallet. And that was today, February 13th, 2019 at 7:05 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is by Doug Alexander and Olga Karif. So yes, penis, and no penis. More Bitcoin has been caught in the QuadrigaCX vortex. The shuttered Vancouver-based digital exchange, quote, inadvertently transferred 103 Bitcoins on February 6th to offline storage accounts known as cold wallets that are protected by passwords held by the company's founder, who died in December, leaving the company unable to access cryptocurrency valued at $354,300. The revelation is part of a February 12th update by Ernst & Young Inc., the monitor appointed this month by the Nova Scotia Supreme Court to oversee the digital exchange's restructuring under creditor protection. Ernst & Young didn't disclose how the latest transfer happened. Quadriga sought help after suspending operations in January, saying it was unable to retrieve cryptocurrency and funds owed to some 115,000 clients following Gerald Cotton's death. Dude, I thought it was just a few thousand. 115,000 people. You can't tell me there wasn't a known terminal patient amongst one of those people. Anyway, continuing on. Quadriga, which Cotton operated primarily from a laptop computer, can't retrieve about $190 million in Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ether, and other digital tokens held for its customers, nor can it pay back the $70 million in cash those customers are owed, according to earlier court filings. Crypto investors and exchanges often keep their holdings in cold wallets, typically physical devices disconnected from the web that can be plugged into a computer when needed, since internet-connected hot wallets can be vulnerable to hackers. Automated transfer. As with the sudden death of Cotton, the unexplained shift in the coins has spurred plenty of speculators about what may have happened. Quadriga could have set up accounts on other exchanges in such a way that when the balances passed a threshold, the accounts automatically wired funds into its wallets, said Eric Larcheveque, head of cold storage-focused startup Ledger SAS. The customer may have added funds without realizing the exchange wasn't operating and triggered the transfer, he said. Or they could have been taking funds from cold wallets and putting them in hot wallets. That can also be the case. Ernst & Young said it has relied on unaudited financial information. Quadriga's books and records, financial information prepared by the exchange, as well as discussions with the exchange's directors, consultants, and legal advisors to prepare the first report. Report highlights. Quadriga's updated cryptocurrency balance in its hot wallets total $902,743 as of February 12th. Number 2. The monitor hasn't received any funds from third-party payment processors yet, and one is holding 5 bank drafts totaling $25.2 million Canadian. 3. 2 active laptops, 2 older laptops, 2 active cell phones, and 2, quote, dead cell phones, and 3 fully encrypted USB keys owned or used by Cotton for the Quadriga operations have been retrieved. Ernst & Young has established a toll-free number and email account to allow creditors and other interested parties to get additional information on the court proceedings. If you were a customer of Quadriga, I would start watching for your account information, like your social security information, your personal identification information, start showing up on the dark web, because, like I said, these people are known to be identity thieves. And that's probably the most damaging aspect of this whole debacle, is the 112,000 victims. And honestly, from what I've been able to discern so far, I believe the whole thing was a criminal operation from top to bottom. And the fact that it passed anybody's smell test for anybody to be dealing with them it's beyond me. Where do these people have their fiat banking? Who are they doing their banking with? How were they able to get on exchanges and get fully AML KYC'd accounts? How are they able to do that if they didn't have some sort of quote unquote legitimacy? Whether it be in the entities that they're dealing with as far as AML KYC information from internal individuals, or simply stolen information from their customers. What was the connection there? And see, this is shit that governments can actually check. If the RCMP were actually investigating this, from what I can tell, they actually aren't. From one of the titles of one of the articles I was going to bring up, but it's behind a paywall, so fuck them. Anyway, so according to that, it's not even on the RCMP's radar to investigate this shit. And the official, semi-official agencies, the JCBC and so on, they are, or the SCBC, they aren't actually monitoring this shit. They aren't claiming any responsibility to be regulating this entity. So, it's like if you don't know entities are conducting activities that you regulate within your province, then you shouldn't actually be claiming to be regulating that industry, because it sends false signals of trust to the public, and they do stupid shit like signing up with an exchange that doesn't really exist, because they are trusting that you are watching out for their best interests, and when you don't, and then you claim that it's not our jurisdiction. That doesn't help anybody. That doesn't make anybody safer. If they were going around with the expectation that no, this is a fully unregulated enterprise that I'm throwing money at, I will fucking bet you anything in the world, if they were going into it with that mentality, they either A, would not have signed up with QuadrigaCX because they would have found out through a brief amount of investigation that they're a fraudulent enterprise. B, they wouldn't have recommended the exchange to their friends or their family or anybody else, because they would have known, hey, this is a high-risk operation that I'm throwing my money at. Do I really want to tell my friends and family, yes, they're cool, throw money at them? No. At the first hint there was anything wrong, I probably would have been telling everybody on Twitter, dude, stay the fuck away from this thing. These people are fraudulent assholes. And the people that know how to look would have been looking too. So again, this is why I say, regulators, stay the fuck away. As a matter of fact, put out public statements saying this is what we regulate. If your exchanges don't go along and don't fit these descriptions, we don't regulate it. Do not go into it with any expectation that we regulate it, because we don't. That's what you need to be saying right now. If your goal is actually the security and safety of the citizens of whatever country you're regulating this shit in, that is the responsibility that you have to them. And if you don't, if you just rely on the fact that, they're relying on the fact that you exist, and so you kind of regulate this industry, and fuck, the exchange is telling me that you do, so, they're asking me for all the same things that regulated exchanges do ask me for, which is way too fucking intrusive as far as I'm concerned. So, obviously, they've got to be a legitimate enterprise, right? Shit. Those of us who were here during like 2014, 2015, we know better. We know better because we got wrecked. And when we got wrecked, we told everybody on crypto Twitter, hey, watch out for this coin. Hey, watch out for this exchange. Hey, watch out for this project. These people are fraudulent. I'm having trouble getting my money back out. You probably shouldn't dedicate any funds to them. That's the kind of interface that we had. And it's really the kind of interface that I expect. I do not trust the SEC to be watching over their shoulder. I do not trust the CFTC or the FDIC or the SEC or any of these organizations to be up their ass making sure that they're legitimate. I mean, fuck, I put more trust in Richard Hart's recommendation than I put into them, and I consider him kind of, I don't know, he's kind of knowledgeable, but sometimes I wonder. Anyway, point being that I would trust him before I trusted anything that the SEC had to say about a coin or an exchange or anything else. Because he's a traitor. And it's his reputation on the line. And if he had any questions about QuadrigaCX, he probably would have made an hour video of it telling him, you know what, I've been investigating this exchange and you really shouldn't be putting your money in it because it doesn't pass my smell test. If it was left to us to be providing those signals back to the market, none of this shit would have even happened. They would have been in operations about 48 hours, maybe 72 hours, the first sign that there was any kind of issue. people would have been withdrawing their funds. They would have had a run on their funds. They wouldn't be able to satisfy everybody because, of course, they were doing boats and hoes in the background. And they would have made it maybe a week, maybe 2. Anyway, let's go ahead and throw back down into some music. And where exactly to go? You know what? There's a song by Anthrax. And to me, it's kind of emblematic of the level of trust you should put in any kind of entity in this space, or even fiat currency, the fiat currency space. Because, as we've seen from ever since we've gone with the stock market, where our trust is abused by one entity or another, and still they pass all the tests and whatnot, but more importantly, the messages that we get from one another as far as what's going on in the market, those are usually a lot further ahead than the regulators' reports or anything like that. And so as far as the next dance goes, it's got to be The Devil You Know, here on Coin Metal by Anthrax. And that was Lamb of God with Erase This. And it is with that I'd like to close out this episode. Thank you very, very much for listening. I certainly do appreciate the support, especially that which I find on my social media. Love it, love it, love it. As with anything in life, you do have to trust your senses above all else. When things don't add up in a logical way, and it just doesn't smell right or feel right in your gut, really hold those questions as highly and brightly in your consciousness as you possibly can, and do not throw any money at it until you're satisfied. That's just my advice there. And yeah, so we will be back again on Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And so until then, I want y'all to trade safe. Do your homework. Watch out for your own bunghole, because nobody's going to do it for you. Most certainly not the RCMP. Thank you again for listening. And as far as our last dance is concerned, I actually did pick one out this time. And so here it is. Nobody's Real by Powerman 5000. Thank you again for listening, and y'all have an excellent evening.